What's good, family? I'm Martez Kelly, and I want to thank you guys so much for tuning into the channel. I'm actually sitting here with the one and only Chris King himself, and we just walked through his Airbnb property, and we're just going to do a tour, talk about the numbers, talk about how he got it, and just talk about why he actually got into doing Airbnb arbitrage. But if you guys, this is your first time to the channel, I want to ask you guys to subscribe to the channel right now. And if you haven't watched the video before on Chris King's interview, I'll link it up in the card up above so y'all can know who it is that we're talking about.
Hi guys, welcome to Martez Kelly's real estate channel. This is Martez Kelly, and welcome to the show.
But what's good, brother? How you been?
I'm good, man. Feeling good. Happy to be here.
Hey, man. So how has things been since, I guess, our first video, bro?
It's been well. I'm learning. I'm growing. The biggest thing that I've been focusing on is that investment property that I have. Anybody that's a real estate investor knows that time is money, so the longer it takes, it kind of eats into your profit. So got to get that off my hands as soon as possible. So still learning and growing in that aspect.
So I guess we can go back to the first property, and I got B-roll for that too. We'll just throw it over so y'all can see what it is, and I'll also link to the card for that video too. But I guess for the people who haven't seen that video, just a quick summary, like what property are we talking about? How did you get it and different stuff like that?
So I paid $90,000 for it. The original after ARV, after repair value that I had in mind was $240. Now that I'm a little bit into it, I'm probably 2.5 months into the property. We completed the demolition of the property. We uncovered additional issues like some of the floor joists are rotted out. The home was actually built in 1908, so it's over 100 years old. So the house was pretty much hand built at those times. They would just knock down a tree, send it off, and get the tree cut up, and they would just put wood together and tie it together. So there's no code. So I have to bring the house up to code. Once you do 25% or more of the house, you have to go get approval from an engineer. I'm also adding 500 worth of square footage to the house. So it's going from, I think it was 1168 to pretty much 1700. So give or take 500 square feet. But so we have to bring an architect to get involved. So he laid out the plans, and we're gonna rework the floor plans. We have to get signed off by the engineer, then we have to get signed off by the city, and then people will start to be able to see physical differences on the property. So right now we're working a lot on the back end to get it going.
So is the exit strategy the same, or has it shifted a little?
It's the same. A wise investor told me to always have as many extra strategies as possible.
Right.
So I mean, we still have the possibility of a refinance, you know what I mean? But I do have a partner in the deal, so that could affect the partner. So we would have to agree on how much we would refinance it for, you know, and rent it out, cash out, refi, take the cash, put it into somewhere else. You know, if the market permits, then we could potentially resell it at a higher value. That would mean more profit for everybody. So as long as we're all on the same page, I mean, we're gonna do the property so we have every extra strategy that's possible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if we do it up to code, then that means we can resell it, we can rent it out, we can refinance it, we can, however we need to go to get the property off of our hands, but we could do it. Yeah.
Cool. Well, you guys, like I said, if you haven't seen the other two videos with Chris King, they are linked in the description box below and also in the card above. But you guys are here to actually see the Airbnb. And tell us about how you got it, bro. Like, exactly how did this beautiful home fall in your lap?
Actually, honestly, genuinely speaking, bro, it was you. It was Martez. He kind of put in my head the concept of, we didn't use when we were talking about it, we didn't use the word Airbnb arbitrage because I didn't know what that was at the moment. But he kind of broke down the concept for me, and I was like, why didn't I think about that? But it kind of makes sense. And then really the way I came about this one is personally, this was a friend, a referral almost. So this house was actually my first house that I ever sold as a real estate agent.
Wow.
So this was my first ever client. Me and her stayed in contact throughout my real estate career. I mean, I'm in my second year, but we stayed in contact the whole time. And I knew that she was moving back home to where she's originally from, Louisiana. And so pretty much, when you brought up the idea to me, I was like, well, how can I make this work? And I just reached out to her, and I pretty much I presented the idea as, you know, I hadn't ran the numbers yet, but I wanted to make sure that she was open to the concept. So I reached out and and I presented it almost like a property manager, and I let her know what I was trying to do. You know, I would rent it out from you, put it on the Airbnb market, and then I would keep the difference. So I presented that idea, and then later on I got into the numbers and the specifics of it. But
So doing the numbers, what did you use for the numbers, to run numbers and different things like that?
So I'm a realtor, so obviously that helped in my the numbers that I was running. But I first, what I did was I presented a CMA of the value of the property, because I wanted to make sure I was bringing value to her and I wasn't taking advantage of her in any way.
Makes sense.
So I wanted to be like, all right, well, your number one option could be you could sell the property, right? You know, this is what you paid for it. I believe she paid $219 for it. And then I created a CMA to make sure, you know, it's only been a year, so obviously it wasn't going to be too much increase in the value of the property, but I presented the CMA to her so that she knew that she's not losing out in that aspect. And then I created a rental CMA. So I looked at all the properties within 5 miles of either direction that were 300 square feet above and below, and that were similar to beds and baths. So this is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,200 square feet. So I looked at 1,500 to 900 rental properties that are either 2-bedroom, 2-1, or 3-2, and I looked at what they were renting for. So I took an average of that, and once I got that average, I told her, based off of the data that I've collected, you could rent the house out without me. This is what you could rent the house out for. Like, let's just say you wanted to keep everything going. This is what you could rent the house out for. I don't remember that number off the top of my head exactly. Right. But then I went above that number. And so I said, I'm gonna make it worth it for you. Yeah. And I'll give you, I think I went like $100 above that number. And then I did the numbers for me, and I was like, okay, well, this is my overhead. $1,400 a month is the overhead for the property. So I was like, if I need to make $1,400 a month, how much do I need to charge per night? How many nights can I count on?
Just broke it down.
Exactly. So I did more research, and I found out that the average Airbnb in Pensacola is rented out 15 nights a month. So I could count on so I could count on that number, 15. So if I could count on being rented out 15 nights every month, how much do I need to charge a month to meet my overhead? And so I came up with the number 150 around there. And so that's before like anything that's plus. So really, you know, it'll rent out like, you know, 20 nights a month. So all that's profit. You know what I mean? Then you get into increasing prices. So I just went with the base of 150, but I think I'm asking 160. And so, you know, if I get rented out more at a higher price, that just leaves room for my profit to grow.
Man, how easy was the process for like setting it up, buying furniture? If you remember how much you actually had to pay for the furniture, how easy was the setup process?
So, funny that you asked that. Actually, this is all of her furniture as well. So, so it was all, when we broke it down and she agreed to it, she, obviously this is a friend, so she knows and trusts me, and she was like, well, it would be more work for me to try to take the furniture. She was like, I know what you're wanting to do with it, so I can just leave the furniture there. She's thinking of it more as like a partnership. You know what I mean? Like, all right, I leave the furniture there for you. You make sure that you can make the money off of the house and make sure that you pay me monthly. And
everything after that yours. That is insane.
So me and my girlfriend Katie decorated. We bought probably maybe $200 worth of painting and like little small knickknacks that we could put in here. She took some of her personal stuff with her, but
wow,
yeah, man,
$1,400 a month, including furniture.
And she didn't charge me a security deposit. Now I can say that this was a friend, so
don't expect that.
Part of the benefit of it was being that she knows and she trusts me, and I wasn't gonna take advantage of her. So if I was to present this concept to someone who didn't know me, you know what I mean? I would expect a security deposit, then ask me for the security deposit, and I would come prepared to, you know, invest $8,000 in furniture, $5,000 to $8,000 in furniture.
So altogether, if done without the friendship, you're looking at first month rent deposit 14. That puts you at 2,800, and then another 8,000 to 10,000 for furniture. So I guess what he's saying, to get something comparable to this, and I'm pretty sure y'all see the B-roll clips. To get something comparable to this, you're looking at an initial startup of about 10 grand. And that sounds about right, because that's exactly what we were looking for. And you're pretty close to downtown, bro.
Yeah.
Like, we really...
9 minutes from downtown, probably like 15 minutes from the beach. We're probably 10 minutes from the base. So it's prime location, great area, safe, super pretty, updated inside.
Oh yeah.
So yeah.
Even you probably 15 minutes away from the airport and the mall and stuff too.
Exactly. So perfect area, man. Yeah, definitely. I actually have my dad actually just gave me some more furniture from his house that he just moved out of. So my next project or the next Airbnb arbitrage or situation that I can get in, I would have to skip the furniture investment, because I could just take that furniture that I have in storage and put it in there. So however you can come about it,
That's it, man. So I guess what's crazy to me is I was actually talking to Chris about it, brought up the idea to him, and he was like, yeah, I got one, bro. Like, within a week. And I'm like, bro, what? How did you get it before me? It's so crazy for me to be in here and just see the setup, hear the numbers, and be like, bro. And we are in our slow months for Pensacola. Like, I think you're gonna pick up around, from the research that I was looking at, late February.
Exactly.
And that's gonna ride all the way until early fall.
Exactly.
So you probably got 4-5 months of probably 100% booked. That is insane, man.
And the cool part is, so like you were saying, how did I get it in a week? So like, once you presented the idea to me, I'm the type of person, I'm trying to get on it ASAP. Yeah. So you presented the idea, and I was like, that makes sense. Then I was like, is this legal? Then I was looking it up, and I was like, okay, people do this, it makes sense. And I still didn't know it was called, there was a whole group for it.
Yeah.
Right, so I got on it, and the cool part about the whole concept, bro, is in a year, so the real money is gonna be made. So once I have a year of like what this property can make as far as like bringing in revenue and income, what would be the next step? I could go to the bank and get financing without having to use my credit like under my business. And so then I can purchase the property from her. Let's say, she wants this amount of, what's spread, like profit. Yeah. I purchase the property from her under the business, and I just eliminate, 80% of my overhead, and I increase, my profits by the difference. I wouldn't have to worry about nothing, because I can prove what the property makes already to the bank. That's all they want to know. So it'll pay for itself.
Imagine being a real estate agent. Your first client, you help them buy their house. They stay in it for a year. They're about to move. You present the idea of Airbnb arbitrage, and you do it for a year, and then you buy it back. That is crazy. All happening within, just because I guess you're a real estate business. And what advice would you give for a person who is just starting out? What's something that shocked you
about being a realtor or the Airbnb?
Airbnb.
Something that shocked me,
or caught you off guard. You were just like, "What? I got to do this too?"
Yeah. So it's more to it. You know what I mean? Like in my head, I was like, all right, once I get it set up, then it's gonna like take care of itself. But there are also fees. You got to worry about electric, water, just all your bills, Wi-Fi. Usually they want to have some type of streaming service like YouTube TV or something that they can watch shows and stuff on. Also a cleaning service. Cleaning is big, huge with who you use. You can include the fee in the upfront charge to them, but also that increases your price. And if the price is too much, now you're losing out on business. So I guess I was not prepared for the effects of being booked. You know what I mean? Everybody's not the nicest person in the world. They don't care that this is my first time having an Airbnb.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean? Like, it was one lady that called me and she was like, oh, I don't like the type of, like, she pretty much was saying the type of, you know, paintings and stuff that I had in here. It was like, well, you know what I mean? Like, I'm still learning. Like, maybe I should go with, like, a general concept of, like, you know what I mean, not too specific. I changed them out a little bit.
Oh,
you know, I adjusted a little bit, but I guess it was too much personality for her, which is cool and good feedback, because you know maybe everybody is not into all that stuff. So I would try to keep it like generic and understand that there are going to be different types of people living and staying in here.
If you got a picture, bro, I want to see the picture of the original photo, like the original painting.
Okay, I got you.
I want to put that. I want them to see it, because I want to see what, me personally, I want to know what person it is. That's crazy.
Yeah, man, and trying to mine reviews is a huge part.
Oh, yeah.
I'm still working on that. I think I have all my reviews are 5-star reviews, but I think I only have 4 or 5. This is my second month.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is my second month into it, so I only have like 4 or 5 reviews. So trying to get people to go out of their way to write that review, even, you know what I mean, when I call them on the phone, everybody says they enjoyed it and they had a good time, but getting them to go back and write that review is important.
Yeah. All right, so we talked about what shocked you. What was something that was like easy? Anything that was easy throughout the process? If anything was easy.
I wouldn't say easy. I would say I had an upper hand, and that was like running the numbers. Because I'm already a realtor, I can make it make sense and make sure, you know, everybody is winning in the situation. I think the biggest benefit that people who do this bring is not a profit, but it's the time. Because if you think about it, what am I telling her? I'm telling, hey, you can still make your money, you can still use this asset to your advantage without having to take care of it. So we transfer all the utilities into my name, we do everything. Because I guess on the other side of things, what's stopping someone from being like, hey, let me just go put it on Airbnb myself?
Yeah.
And my rebuttal to that would be, you have to manage it. You have to make sure it gets cleaned. You have to check on it. You have to, you know, pay all the bills. You have to deal with the customers coming in and out if they need something. If the, you know, AC go out, or they want to log into Netflix or somebody else's account is on it. So you have to deal with that. So I guess the value that we would bring would be that these people can still get paid, and they don't have to worry about dealing with the day-to-day of short-term rentals. But yeah, another thing I could say that I learned is when people think of short-term rentals, at least our generation, they think of Airbnb. But really, the most bookings that I have received are from VRBO. I've heard. And VRBO pushes it to other platforms. And then there's other platforms, bookings.com, like, I'm not gonna list them all because there's a million of them. Yeah. But putting it on 4 or 5 different platforms and not just Airbnb will maximize your booking amount.
The next question I want to ask, bro, is I know a lot of the things you said that helped you was because basically you got your real estate license. Yeah. Do you feel like people who don't got their real estate license, do they have access to the same research that you got? Or how could they get the same amount of comfort that you had in your research?
Yeah, they definitely have access to it. You would have to become educated on what it takes. So I don't think that you would need your real estate license to accomplish this or provide some type of value. But I do think you would have to understand and figure out, for example, how to run a CMA. Because if the numbers, somebody's first reaction, if I was to own a home and somebody presented this concept to me, my first reaction is going to be, what's stopping me from just going and doing this, right? And so you have to have a hold on the financial side of things and understanding, okay, you can only go and rent it out long term for this amount. So you're going to make more money in the short term rentals. If you want to get into short term rentals, you have to understand it requires a lot more upkeep, right? Because it's more people coming in and out of your house. Now, do you have the time to do that? Where do you work? Like, are you local? Are you moving out of state? If not, okay, then I can present some value by managing that property. Now, how much I'm willing to go above or below this price is going to depend on what can we charge per night. So you have to understand like how to pull comparable properties and understand, you know, okay, well, my property is a lot like this one has been successful, we're gonna start off here. You know what I mean? And there's some wiggle room. Nobody is 100% correct when it comes to these things, but you don't want to be charging, you know, going off the idea that I can charge $300 a night when really the property is, you can only get, you know what I mean, $120 a night. You know what I mean? So you want to definitely be in the area.
Say no more. And then the next thing we're gonna get into is the price, how much he's making, how much he's not making, just the ups and downs of it as well. Forgot what I was about to say. So we're gonna go ahead and jump into how much he's made. So bro, go ahead. Tell us how it's been so far on the financing side of it.
Yeah, so October was fully booked. I mean, obviously not 100%, but usually your weekends stay booked, and then once you get like a booking that somebody's staying for like a week and a half, you know what I mean, that adds up. So it wasn't 100% booked, but I would give it like 85%. I started at the end of September, then booked 2 weeks at the end of September, booked all of October. Up until that point, I probably profited $2,500 to $3,000 in profit. So that's after I paid my overhead.
Good.
That's after I paid the bills. After, you know, I dealt with any maintenance. Now, in the beginning, I was cleaning it myself. I was cutting the grass myself. You know what I mean? Paying everything beforehand to make sure, like, you know what I mean? I'm doing all this to cut down costs because I was not sure how much money I would profit yet. But actually, in November, things for whatever reason, things have slowed down. You know what I mean? I don't know if it's just the property. I don't know if I need to, you know, I'm still learning as we're going, but I have 2 weekend bookings in November. I have 2 bookings in December, and then I already have some bookings in January and February. Around that time, it's already getting booked up. So I don't know. I guess my first reaction would be like, oh, it's holiday time. People are gonna travel and stuff like that. But I don't know. It's been slower. But I also reached out to a property management company and talked to them, and they let me know that it does pick up around like the summertime and the springtime.
For the first month, I guess if done right, the first month's profit could ease this month's profit.
Exactly. If I was, you know what I mean, budgeting everything and, you know, had it laid out, I would what I made in the beginning covers the L that I took or that I potentially may take in November. You know what I mean? So it'll pan out. Yeah, man, I don't know. Y'all Martez gonna teach me how to get on this YouTube stuff, man. So y'all make sure y'all subscribe to my channel as well.
Most definitely. We'll go ahead and link that down below so y'all can subscribe to Chris's channel. Also, just like last time, we'll make sure we got his Instagram stuff up there for you guys as well. But yeah, I know I talked before about a YouTube group for real estate agents. If you're a real estate agent and you're still watching this video now, that's officially closed and we're about to go ahead and start working. But I appreciate you guys for tuning in. I appreciate Chris for coming on and giving me the opportunity to interview him again. But yeah, just showing you guys his Airbnb, telling you guys about his experience, the things he's learned from.
Can I say it?
Go ahead, bro.
Man, y'all make sure y'all like, subscribe to my boy's channel, man. Y'all make sure y'all supporting, and this is a good dude right here. He got a lot going on, and he motivates me in certain ways. So y'all make sure y'all support him, hit that like and subscribe button.
Much love, man.
Turn those notifications.
Just like he said, if y'all haven't subscribed already, please click right there to subscribe. YouTube suggests you watching this video, but I think you should watch this one.